At the heart of Teesside, County Durham and North Yorkshire, Christian and Jamie.
And that is Terry Deary. We're welcomed. Hello there, Terry.
Good afternoon.
Hello there. Good sir. Are you in County Durham at the moment?
I live in County Durham.
Well, yes, this is it, but you must be someone who, like, bobs around the place quite a lot.
I do quite a lot. I've spent a lot of time in the last month in a place called Leeds, you might have heard of.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, working with some Leeds supporters, and as a Mackem, they gave me a bit of a rough time. But, yes, I do get around a bit.
Right, so you're at home, are you, on a bank holiday Monday like today?
Sorry, I didn't know it was a bank holiday Monday.
Well, people like you wouldn't have... I've had a quick look at your biography there, because there's a lot of people who obviously won't know who the heck you are, Terry. You're an author of 140 books. Has that figure gone up?
Well, it's 152 at the moment, but I'm by the end of the day, I hope to have finished my 153rd.
Okay.
Today's a good day.
Right, so you're a bit of like a Barbara Cartland, would you say?
Yeah, just slightly better looking than...
Well, that was I was going to say, one's a horrible author, from the here and now history, and the other is actually the author of Horrible History. Do you see what I've done there with Barbara Cartland, bless her?
Hey, you could be doing me out of a job if I'm not careful.
So you're born in Sunderland, you now live in County Durham, and you're also a former actor, theatre director and drama teacher.
Yeah, I try to forget about the drama teacher bit. That's something I'm a bit ashamed of. So just stick to the actor and theatre director, please.
we were going. I think you've got a brilliant surname for the stage, haven't you, Deary?
Yeah,
it is almost on the lovey and darling, isn't it? It is. Is it your real name then, Terry?
It really is my real name. Yes, there are a lot of Dearys around the country. They came from Ireland originally, as in Geary, O'Leary, O'Deary. And, they came across to Sunderland to work in the shipyards, the Dearys.
Are you teaching me history here about your name? I'm sorry, I want little pictures and crazy stuff.
That's arranged, yeah?
Do you think...
You look great.
Oh, thank you very much. Do you think, Terry, that you're helping all the people pass their history GCSEs?
God, I hope not.
The doodling pictures and stuff on it.
I do get blamed for, people write to me emails from all around the world, and they blame me for passing their exams. I say, don't blame me, I write entertainment,
Yeah.
I know the books are called Horrible Histories, but first and foremost, they are there to entertain, to inform you, and they're not about history really, they're about people, about human behaviour, and the strange things humans do to each other.
Well, when I first done history, that was the first lesson they taught me. History is about people, and then they went off and decided not to bother with that.
No, they don't. Because there's this thing called the national curriculum, which is probably one of the great evils of the 20th century inflicted on children. Children no longer learn anything worth learning. They just have to learn how to pass tests, which is not the same thing at all.
Do you think it's more to do with school discipline? Spare the rod?
No, it's nothing to do with school discipline.
No?
It's about control. The government wants to control people, wants to tell you what to learn and how you're going to learn it. And really, that's what my Horrible Histories plays are about. At Darlington Civic, they launch before they go on a national tour.
The Darlington Civic, is that the opening night, is it?
It is.
That's
the world premiere.
The world premiere, that's on the 20th of September.
Yeah.
At the Darlington Civic. We'll give the details out there a bit later. You've got books sold in 33 languages. Can you speak other languages, Terry, so you can actually see if there's anything lost in translation there?
No, I can speak Mackem.
Well, as good as any other language.
As good as any other language,
yeah.
But no. And sometimes I get some weird translations reported to me, how dare you say this about my country?
Yeah.
I didn't know I'd said it, actually, Sometimes the translators take little liberties.
Yeah.
I got an odd one the other day from Bulgaria, I think it was, who said, please, how do you translate the words boom boom? I put a gag in, and one of the characters turned the other and said boom. And it's rather hard to explain that one, actually.
I've always been fascinated by sound effects, like plop and splash, that are the same in any other language, yeah? Now, Terry, you kind of like narrate these things, and you are a Mackem. Do you say the word, like someone got his head cut off, do you say heed? Does it ever slip in?
No, I've got to use what they call received pronunciation English. So no, I don't use heed.
I'll read.
Some say heed, actually, do they?
Oh, I think they do they?
Well, they were Geordies.
Oh, goes further north than that, yeah.
There's a bad slur there. I'm sorry.
I mean, call me anything you like, but don't call me a Geordie.
Okay. You've got too many things here worth mentioning. Far too many. You've been in all these children's top tens and booksellers and. It's too many. But the thing that caught my mind is the Daily Telegraph in 1999. They said they recorded that you were outselling Enid Blyton by 4-1.
Yeah, she's not writing so much these days.
No, she's not. I actually know why. because, well, apart from the fact that all the books are like 50 years old, I actually, because I wanted to do a bit of research, Terry, yeah? I wanted to, because I'm off probably the Enid Blyton generation.
Oh, we all.
So I've got a bit of Enid Blyton here, and I think this is why, because parents obviously, probably a lot of parents buy your books for the children.
Yeah.
Is that correct, yeah?
Yeah.
So, in this case, they would read an Enid Blyton book and think, well, perhaps I won't buy this for my child. And I read you from Noddy at the Seaside.
Oh, what a treat.
It's a BBC book. And it says, Big Ears went to the door. "A bottle of milk, please," he said to the milkman. And he gave it to Big Ears. He put his hands in his pockets to get the money. Noddy called out at once, "No, Big Ears, no. That's not how I pay the milkman. Come in, milkman, and take your payment." The milkman walked in with a grin and tapped Noddy's little head smartly. It began to nod very quickly indeed. "Payment for 1 bottle," said the milkman. "Good gracious, is that how you pay for your milk?" said Big Ears in great surprise. "I wish I had a nodding head and could pay like that." "Well, the milkman just loves to nod my head as fast as he can," said Noddy, tying up his shoes. "I have to pay him a lot more nods for cream, though. It's not so cheap as milk." And I just think, as a parent, you know,
I can understand why you're out saying that.
I'm just shocked the interpretation certain people put on how Noddy pays for his milk is. Unbelievable. I bet that repeated on daytime radio, though.
It certainly wasn't my interpretation, Terry.
Right.
That's for sure. And perhaps Mr. Mischief next time.
Right.
Yeah. But so you're writing more books as we speak. But the theatre is obviously calling you back all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do a road show where I did a one-man show, telling stories and singing songs, acting, and I've done a lot of radio and CDs. At the moment, my CDs are out there free on certain packets of cornflakes, which we are not allowed to mention the name, I'm sure.
No.
But if you go in your supermarket, I've got 6 different CDs, 12 million of them out there, with me singing and telling stories.
Yeah.
And so that means I reckon I've got more CDs out there than Robbie Williams.
So does that mean you could chart?
Good thing, that.
Could you chart? And in at number 1, Kellogg's.
Well, thank you. It would be very nice if some sort of radio or record producer comes along and says, "I heard your free CD. Can we turn it into a Christmas novelty hit?"
Yeah, they do say, though, that you've got to be eligible for the chart. You can't give away free things. A lot of people might be buying the CD and believing that they've got a free box of cornflakes with it. That might be the other way. You see, a bit of flattery does me no good. Now, Terry, when you do all these, is this all within your own production company? Because you've got one, haven't you?
I've got a production company, but that's mainly aimed at producing television.
Right.
The theatre show is going out with Birmingham Stage Company, who are the top children's theatre company in the country. And I'm so busy at the moment doing television and books, I haven't got time to have much to do. I wrote the scripts for my own stage plays,
right.
But Birmingham Stage have taken it over, and they're off on tour starting in Darlington.
That's great. So you're going to go and see them at Darlington?
I doubt if I'll have time to see them. I think I might be back down in Leeds.
Are you getting spies there to, like, report back and tell you?
Lots of people have said, "Oh, I see you're on at Darlington. We're going to go and see that." You know, and how great. Tell me what happens. Of course, having written them, I know what happens.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you know, it's their give me a chance. I'll interpret it.
Well, you go along and, I'll come back on your show and you can give me a critical appraisal of what it's like. You know?
Well, I'm going to. I was a little bit upset that I didn't have one of your books already, Terry, and I'll tell you why. Because I have actually been given these books, and it must upset you, because, I mean, financially, it's all right whinging about, artistic license and that, but it's actually really stealing your idea. I've got a book at home. It's called Foul Facts, and it's about science. And this isn't written by you, but it's exactly your formula.
Oh, I know. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
But over the years, there have been about half a dozen different series, and Horrible Histories have been out there 12 years now. And these other series have come and they've gone. They've sort of made a little blip on people's consciousness.
Yeah.
It's disappeared because people aren't stupid, and they can tell what's the real article.
Well, I didn't. I went and bought it. I thought, this is what everyone's raving about.
No.
I got Nasty Nature. I got 501 Horrible Things. But
dear.
Wasn't it? What I really need to do is start looking out for the author's name, don't I, Terry?
Yeah, it's taken me a long time to establish my name. People say, "Oh, yes, we know Horrible Histories."
Yeah.
But they don't know the name Terry Deary. That is starting to change, I'm pleased to say.
Do you want to be just known for Horrible Histories, or is there other things as well?
Not. Of the 150 books I've written, only 40 are Horrible Histories. and I've got an awful lot of fiction out there as well.
Yeah.
In fact, the book I'm writing today is a piece of fiction direct for the American market.